Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Who is this?
Big Bucket.
Big Buckus. Walter Payton, it's the man. Finds Cole Kmet wide open. Touchdown, Bears. Let's go. Who is this?
Georgia.
Nice throw, Jay Fields. I think I can fit in as like a water boy for the Panthers or something. I'm not talking about get on the field, It's picked off. Picked off an end zone by Kyler Gordon. Let's go. Put some respect on Kyler Gordon's name. And as always, bear down.
Keek on the mic, keek on the mic, keek on the mic, keek on the mic. People, this the intro. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down, bear down.
Hey, what is going on, Chicago Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for yet another live stream right here on the podcast. Once again, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. First and foremost, I do want to apologize for the long absence on my live streams. I really had only enough energy to just keep doing the simple videos and post pre-recorded videos. I am a father of a 1-year-old that's now crawling. She's about to begin walking very soon. So she has been keeping me very busy. Like I said, I usually only have enough energy to do my pre-recorded video. So I just wanted to come back and give you guys an update on me. I'm doing well. I'm doing fine. Obviously, the Bears are not doing well, but that is obviously okay. We are still in a rebuild, but I wanted to come on here and do a quick Friday night Q&A for you guys. You guys can ask me anything right here on the live stream. I won't be on here for very long. It'll probably be about like 30 minutes to an hour. And slowly but surely, I will be doing my live streams more often on Friday evenings. And I'm also going to be looking to get back into Sunday game day play-by-play live streams for the Bears as well. I'm actually thinking about going live this Sunday against versus the Broncos. So like I said, slowly but surely, I will be getting back into the live stream groove of things. Like I said, obviously there's not really much to talk about in terms of the Bears. It's been a disastrous start to the season. But like I said, it happens to a lot of teams. It is what it is at this point, but let's go ahead and look in the chat to see who joined us for this Friday night stream. We got Daryl Lee Jackson. Good evening, all. Good evening to you as well, Daryl. Thank you so much for tuning in. And then we have Donkey Kong saying Lions on the North. Yes, the Detroit Lions look very good. They're a very good football team, which to me, it's kind of like, I think a lot of people expected it, obviously the Lions had to go out there and prove themselves, but they're doing a very good job. And right now they look like the clear NFC North champions early on, especially after butt whooping last night against the Green Bay Packers. And for the most part, I'm not too upset about that result. Everyone knows that. I think everyone can agree on that. Everyone hates the Green Bay Packers. So, hey, good for the Lions. It took them a long time to get to that point. So good for Lions fans to finally have that feeling. So for sure. We got Frank in the chat. Thank you so much. Frank says bear down with also an angry emoji. Yeah, it's all right to be angry as a Bears fan, but eventually we will get there. Don Kong says, when are they firing everyone, getting rid of Fields and starting from scratch? I am not sure. I know personally, I think changes within the coaching staff are going to be coming pretty soon. Let's say we start 0-5, 0-6. I can see them firing Matt Eberflus, maybe even firing Luke Getsy. They're probably going to clean house. I'm not sure on the update of Justin Fields. I really don't know where that stands. But in terms of coaching, I know most of the coaches their seats are probably red hot at this moment. Daryl Lee Jackson, should the Bears bench Justin now or wait until game 8? I don't think the Bears should bench Justin Fields this early into the season. If the Bears are 0-8, 0-9, let's say even 0-10, then they can possibly make the change, because at that point, they're probably going to be tanking for a guy like Caleb Williams. You guys all know how I feel about that scenario, though. Obviously, I am a Justin Fields supporter. I don't care if you guys disagree with me. You guys don't need to try to sit here and convince me on why Justin Fields should be benched. I'm not going to, at this moment, try to convince you why Justin Fields should be the starter. I guess just a difference of opinions at this point. Donkey Kong says, yes, FGB. I think that's one thing the Lions, Bears, and Vikings fans can agree on, that we all hate the Green Bay Packers. So I think that's one thing that we can always agree on. Frank also says FGB all day, every day. Nano CBD is also in the chat. How you doing, Nano? He said, let's go. Glad to see you here. Daryl Lee Jack says, which 3 stars are saying that? I'm not sure what your question is there. If you can put your question back in the chat, I'm not sure what you're asking there. Marky Mark R says Denver defense is so bad. Justin needs to get 300 passing yards. If he doesn't crack 220, I think he is done at this point. Yeah, I think I can agree with that. I know my brother-in-law is a Denver Broncos fan. He actually told me the other day, he's like, if Luke Getsy and Justin Fields and the entirety of the Chicago Bears offense can't get something going against this very putrid Denver Broncos defense, then that's how you kind of know it's probably not going to work. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm confident, I'm optimistic that things can hopefully get things turned around, but I think it definitely starts with coaching as well. Donkey Kong says, if the season keeps going, not so good for the Bears, do they draft Caleb Williams? Yeah, that's definitely always a possibility. For the longest time, and I'm still feeling this way, I feel like Justin Fields deserves a true offensive mastermind. I know Lions fans won't like that I'm saying this, but I keep looking at a guy like Ben Johnson, for example, your guys' offensive coordinator. I think he would be perfect for Justin Fields in the Chicago Bears offense. Of course, a guy like Eric Bieniemy. There's a couple other guys I can list off. But I feel like Justin Fields needs a true offensive mastermind that will put him in the best situations to succeed. I just don't think Justin Fields is quite done being a starting quarterback in the NFL, especially for the Bears. Now CBD says, Bears ownership are weak. Who signs rookie coaches for a bunch of young football players? Yeah, Nano, trust me, this is a conversation that we've been having a lot on podcasts. I know a lot of Chicago Bears podcasters feel the same thing. This is the organizational failure of the reasons why the Bears are so bad. It is what it is, but until the owners can bring in the right people to actually develop and groom these young guys, especially at the quarterback position, I think the Bears really have no hope. What's going on, Squeezy? Thanks so much for joining the chat. It says, hello, Keek. Everyone, bear down to you as well. Appreciate you joining me today on a Friday evening. Daryl Lee Jackson says, no QB will make it in the system. Absolutely not. Well, I think the system does work. I think it's obviously the offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy. Obviously, we run the same offense as I think the 49ers, and you see how well they do. And I think it has a lot to do with how Kyle Shanahan actually puts his players in the best situation to succeed. Daryl Lee Jackson also says DJ Moore can't be dropping perfect passes. Yeah, and that's a struggle. A lot of people see Justin Fields' stat line. They're like, oh, he only threw for 99 yards, right? But Chase Claypool had an opportunity to make a big play for him. That would have been like what, a 30, 40-yard gain. Then DJ Moore dropped a pass. That would have been another 40. So that's 80 plus. That's 80 yards right there. That's pushing 200 yards passing. And Justin Fields was actually staying consistent in the first two games, throwing 200 plus passing yards. So obviously people like to look at Justin Fields' 99 passing yards, but they don't like to talk about the DJ Moore drop ball or the Chase Claypool incompletion as well that was pushed down the field. We have to run the ball some more. Yeah, absolutely. We have Roschon Johnson, Khalil Herbert. We have Justin Fields. We have to start using Justin Fields' legs as well. So I think hopefully starting this week against a very weak Denver Broncos defense, hopefully they can get things going on the ground as well, and hopefully through the air as well. Now CBD says, if we don't go deep to Scott and DJ Moore twice, I will be pissed. Yeah, this is definitely a game that I can see the Bears pushing the ball downfield. Hopefully we get more play actions, let Justin Fields rip it, especially be more aggressive downfield for sure. Squeeze says, I'm just hoping Fields can get some confidence back. Going to be an uphill battle. On the bright side, if we can break through, we will be a much better team. Adversity makes you strong. Yeah, absolutely. I think it only takes one. You have to understand the Bears are on a 13-game losing streak, right? So no one likes to lose, especially being a young guy as well. It hurts, right? So obviously his confidence is a little bit shot, but I think Justin Fields will get on the right track, especially if we can get a win this Sunday against the Broncos. How you doing, Philip? Thank you so much for joining the stream. I appreciate you. Says Keek, how are you doing? Keek, this organization is horrible. I have been watching them since the mid-1970s and never saw such. Okay, yeah, I'm doing well, Philip. Thank you so much. How are you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a supporter of the podcast. Yeah, this organization right now is an absolute dumpster fire. I think things can turn around if you get the right people in place. I keep bringing up a guy like Kevin Warren. I think Kevin Warren is the perfect president for the Chicago Bears. I think he's a huge X factor moving forward to get the Chicago Bears in the right direction. What's going on, William? Thank you so much for joining the chat, and keep going ahead. Keep submitting your questions in the comment section. I'll try my best to get to everyone's comments here. So William asks, who would you recommend to be the play caller for the Bears? An experienced play caller at OC can make a difference, but you got to build the trenches on both sides of the ball. Yeah, absolutely. The trenches is definitely a problem. That's why it's so important that the Bears have 2 first-round picks. We can get a blue collar left tackle and a blue collar pass rusher in this next draft. A guy that I really like is the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. If Eberflus gets fired, I could definitely see him being a head coach for the Chicago Bears or a candidate. Another guy that I really like is Eric Bieniemy. Another guy that I also really like is Greg Roman. These guys are experienced. They actually have experience calling plays in the NFL, right? They're not quarterbacks coaches. They're actually OCs. They actually have experience calling plays. I think getting a guy like that for Justin Fields, it would take Justin Fields hopefully to the next level and actually give him some confidence back. And they would actually put Justin Fields in the best situations to succeed. Mark R says Claypool's comments today. Yeah, that's it's definitely not what you want for the locker room. Obviously, Justin Fields came out last week in the press conference and called out the coaches, backtracked. But obviously, Chase Claypool didn't backtrack on anything, right? So I agree with him. Obviously, you don't want to hear it for the morale of the locker room, but he's just being honest. He's telling the truth, right? Obviously, Chase Claypool needs to go out there and make plays as well. But I truly feel I agree with Chase Claypool. Luke Getsy and the Chicago Bears offensive coaching staff are not putting their players in the best situation to succeed. And you got to kind of give Chase Claypool credit that he has enough courage to come out and actually say something. So kudos to Chase Claypool. Now CBD says the D-line is putrid. The 3 tech sucks. Call up number 73 Travis Bell. Yeah, that's another thing. Maybe you have to start, if the Bears start 0-6, 0-8, 0-9, we're going to start seeing these young guys and seeing what they can do. And I think it could start with a guy like Travis Bell, who was pretty impressive in preseason. He was relentless, got consistent pressure on the quarterback as well. So I would definitely like to see Travis Bell out there. Daryl Lee Jackson says, I wish we would have kept Terrell Lewis and Trevis Gibson. Yeah, I think Terrell Lewis would have been a really good option, and especially Trevis Gibson as well, especially since the Bears only have 1 sack in the first 3 games. Yeah, this is just growing pain, Bears fans. You know, I can't really sit here and make excuses for a football team. We're not playing well. The Bears suck right now, and it's okay. There's been a lot of organizations that have gone through this. Obviously, we're still in the rebuild, and if we need to burn this all down again, then we're going to have to do that. But at the same time, if we're going to burn it all down again, we have to make sure we have the right people back in place, right? So keep going ahead and submitting your questions. I appreciate you guys joining me for this Friday night live stream. We got Joe in the chat. Thank you so much, Joe. He says, Yo, Keek, I'm still a Fields believer. What do you think he has to do this season to prove himself and get a new OC? I think Justin Fields has to try to get his confidence back. And I think just getting one win would allow him to get that confidence back. But, you know, I'm just concerned because, once again, I feel like Luke Getsy is still holding this young kid back. I just feel like he needs a new offensive coordinator that puts him in the best situation to succeed. Don Burr's in the chat. I appreciate you, Don Burr, for making me some money and watching my streams. I had to give it up to Don Burr. You know, he was absolutely right. The Lions look really impressive. I can't say enough good things about the Detroit Lions. That's always a possibility that the Lions were going to be this good. But, you know, when I kind of look at the Bears situation, it kind of reminds me of what the Lions had to go through. They went through years and years and years of just absolutely being a terrible football team, and they kept burning it down. They finally got the right GM. They finally got the right coaches in place, and now the Lions are good, but it did take them a long time. So when I think of the Bears situation, and when Bears fans are kind of like, oh, the Bears will never get out of this, I kind of think of the Detroit Lions. Whether you agree with me or not, the Lions were a bad football team for a long time. So it's pretty remarkable if they are finally good. They're finally out playing good football. I think it had a lot to do with them getting the right people in place. Don Burr, we probably will get Ben Johnson. He's probably going to be a hot candidate to be our head coach. He looks really good as the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Obviously, the Detroit Lions have a really good offensive line. So we need to build the trenches. We need to build the offensive line. We kind of started with Darnell Wright. He's looking really good. I think we can go get a guy like Fashanu out of Penn State to be our left tackle. Then we need to get a nasty center. I'm not too concerned, Bears fans. I've been a Bears fan for my whole life, 26 years of life. If I can wait a little longer for the Bears to be good. It's okay. So now we got Paleo Chicago Bears. I joined the stream late. So thoughts on Lincoln Riley if we got Caleb Williams? I think that would be an ideal move if you're planning to get rid of Justin Fields. And I feel like not even looking at Lincoln Riley, if you're going to get a new quarterback, you need to get a guy, a head coach or OC that has experience calling plays and has experience actually developing quarterbacks, right? So to me, I'm a Justin Fields guy, and I always will be a Justin Fields guy. Wherever Justin Fields ends up going, I will support Justin Fields. If the Bears decide to move on and get Caleb Williams, I'll also support Caleb Williams. But I think the organization also needs to step up and help a guy like Caleb Williams out if, in fact, they do move on from Justin Fields. Someone asked, Keek, how much adversity do we need? It's been 35 years plus. I think we need previous successful old Bears players, aka Mike Ditka. He brought a Super Bowl win to the organization. Jim Harbaugh looks good to me. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh would also be an interesting option. You could pair Jim Harbaugh with a guy like Greg Roman. That would be kind of intriguing. I think at this point it is ownership, right? The McCaskey family they haven't done the Chicago Bears no favors, right? So maybe eventually we get lucky and they sell the team. Maybe things get better. But yeah, the Bears, this has been a long, long time coming that the Bears have actually been an incompetent franchise. Teron says, Luke Getsy sounds delusional, talking about we building something special. LO, yeah, it's at this point, I'm kind of like, you have to kind of prove it to me before you just talking out your ass, right? So maybe things change for the better. Maybe we have like that New England Patriots type of game like last season. We just have to wait and see. Mark says, Don, you hear that years and years and years of 5 wins. Yeah, this is not even me trying to bash on the Detroit Lions. I feel like, they finally got the right people in place, but it took them a while because at the moment they were like the Bears. They were bringing in people that weren't developing their guys, right? It took them a while to build the offensive line. It took them a while to build that team. They finally got the right pieces in place, and now the Detroit Lions are good. But they went through it. There was a lot of seasons where they were the number 1 overall pick, right? There was a lot of seasons where they went 0-16. So, once again, congratulations to the Lions fans. You guys should celebrate. You guys should be happy. You guys should be cocky. Your team is finally good. But to sit here and say that you guys didn't used to suck, that's that would be lying to yourself. So enjoy it, Lions fans. I definitely would be. You guys finally have a good franchise that you guys can be proud of. But it was a lot of years of misery for Lions fans as well. So basically, Bears fans as well. I don't want you guys to. The thing is, we can all disrespect the Green Bay Packers. That's the Green Bay Packers, but we have to give the Lions their credit. We have, it took them a long time, but they finally built something good. Now CBD says, Keith, can you explain why EQ St. Brown is sitting after Fields called him out as a great run blocker? I'm not sure why Equanimeous St. Brown hasn't been part of the game plan. Like you said, he knows the offense. He's a great run blocker as well. Maybe with Chase Claypool calling the coaches out, maybe they sit Chase Claypool for a week and put EQ in. We'll have to see what happens with that, but I'm not sure why he hasn't been more involved. KO Sports Talk says, I give credit where credit is due. Yeah, the thing is, leading up to the season, we all talked our fair share of smack talk. So has Don Burr. And sometimes people are right and sometimes people are wrong. There's been times where back in 2018 or back in 2017, leading into the 2018 season, I was talking smack. People were talking smack to me. The Bears ended up being good, so I won that year, right? So you have to be happy for franchises that do it the right way. And you have to kind of be happy for Lions fans because at the end of the day, they sucked for a long time. And that is just the truth. I'm not going to sit here and try to debate the Bears suck. The Lions are good right now, but eventually, hopefully the Bears will be good and the Lions maybe suck. Who knows? So you just have to give credit where credit is due for sure. KO Sports Talk says Jared Goff is the best QB in the division. Yeah, I think having a guy like Ben Johnson and that offensive line, I think that's what it is. The Detroit Lions offensive line is just really, really good. They built their trenches really well, and that's why overall they're a good football team. Philip says, Luke Getsy destroyed Justin Fields. He was a great prospect, best in decades. Now I see a guy totally demoralized. This is pathetic. He deserves better. Monty just beat Green Bay. What a coincidence. Yeah, once again, going back to the Detroit Lions have a really good offensive line. That is the same David Montgomery that played for the Chicago Bears. He just now has a good offensive line. So, but like I said, Justin Fields was the best quarterback prospect that the Chicago Bears had in years. And due to the organizational failures of the Chicago Bears, it looks like they're about to ruin another promising quarterback in Chicago. Squeeze says, I don't give a rat's ass about Detroit. I'm here for Bears talk. Take that shit to Detroit's chat. If anyone actually joined a Detroit chat, Squeeze, I get your frustration and all. I'm just giving credit where credit is due. If you let it bother you, let it bother you. At this point, a guy like Don Burr doesn't really bother me. If he talks smack, that is what it is. I'm just giving credit where credit is due. The unapologetic truth said, "Why can't we pick good coaches?" I don't know. I really don't know why we struggle with picking good coaches and bringing them into this franchise. We missed on a lot of good ones. Hopefully, like I said, I think the X factor will be Kevin Warren. Hopefully, the next coach, if they in fact fire Matt Eberflus, hopefully we can get this coaching thing right. Daryl Lee Jackson says, "Are you satisfied with the Bears being 2-3 after 5 games? If in fact the Bears can win these next 2 games, I think it will be a confidence booster. I think it would put us in the right direction. But for me, I think it's about confidence, right? We can win 1, maybe the wins start piling, because once again, the Bears have lost 13 straight games. So at this point, with a lot of young guys, including Justin Fields, it's more of a confidence thing at this point. So I think I wouldn't be satisfied because it's still under 500, but I think it would be a step in the right direction if the Bears can win these next 2 games and be 2-3. It says, Keek, whatever happened to Fields being light years ahead, understanding the system according to Getsy? Well, once again, we're talking about Luke Getsy, a guy that has no experience calling an offense, right? This is the second year actually calling an NFL offense. He fooled me. He fooled a lot of Bears fans, but he's not fooling me anymore. This guy, unless he proves otherwise, he doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know how to call an offense, and he's absolutely ruining Justin Fields. MC Fact said, "What's up, everybody? Didn't get my notification. What's going on, my man? Thank you so much for joining and tuning in to this live stream. Keep asking your questions down below. I'm going to try to stay on for a little bit longer. I do appreciate your guys' engagement on my videos. Once again, Bears fans, I put in the community page as well. If you guys are interested in getting any of my gear, I got these hats. I got a couple different hats, a couple different shirts. If you guys want to go, I think I posted the link to the shop, for the Keek on the Mic shop on the community page. Go ahead and go support my brand, go support my channel. All money goes into supporting Keek on the Mic. But once again, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. KO Sports Talk says, Luke Getsy, the car salesman, LOL. He knows how to get everybody. Yeah, he was talking very sweet leading up to it, got Bears fans excited. But these first 3 weeks have been an absolute shit show for the Chicago Bears offense, the Chicago Bears football team in general. Someone asked why after 3 years, the chemistry between Kmet and Mooney isn't automatic despite Getsy play calling. You have to still put your players in the best situations to succeed. For example, there was a route against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers where Kmet and DJ Moore were running a route in the same exact spot. So there was no spacing there. Obviously, Justin Fields threw the ball, but he was confused actually who was supposed to throw the ball to, right? So when there's no creativity in the play calling, obviously that's going to not be beneficial for Justin Fields or anyone on this offense. So once again, I just don't think that just feels Luke Getsy doesn't know what he's doing. Someone said Getsy's complex offense needs to just be simplified. What changes last year to this year, making Fields be a pocket passer? Yeah, I think for me going into the season, I was like, we saw some momentum, even though the Bears were 3-14. We saw Justin Fields and offense kind of take off because Luke Getsy was actually calling the offense based on Justin Fields' strengths. He was rolling them out, doing all the good things that Justin Fields knew how to do. And I thought going into this year, with adding a guy like Nate Davis, even though our offensive line has been kind of banged up, we added DJ Moore. I thought it was like, okay, now we can play to Justin Fields' strengths. And now you have a guy like DJ Moore, right? So once again, Justin Fields is never, let's get this straight. Justin Fields will never just be a straight up pocket passer. I understand that sometimes he will have to make some throws within the pocket, but Justin Fields will never be just a straight up pocket passer. He's a dual threat quarterback. So Luke Getsy needs to put Justin Fields in the best situation to succeed, and he's not doing that. Paleo Chicago Bear says, "Do you want Eberflus fired? In your honest opinion, personally, I want him to be fired." Yeah, you know, it's tough at the moment. If I was just talking about just emotion, me being angry or upset, I would probably say yes. I want Matt Eberflus fired. I will give Matt Eberflus a couple more weeks to figure it out. Obviously, starting 3-17 is not a good look. But once again, referring back to the Detroit Lions and how they did things, it's masterful what they did. Their head coach started off, I believe, 3-19, and now look where they're at. Right, they put the right pieces around them. They did the right things. So I'm going to try to believe in Ryan Poles that they could continue to put the right pieces in place. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker about this. Matt Eberflus is now calling up plays for the Chicago Bears defense. If the Chicago Bears defense continues to look like absolute trash, then yes, Matt Eberflus will be fired. But in my personal opinion, I'm going to give Matt Eberflus a couple more weeks to try to figure it out. But at the moment, it looks like he's kind of lost. He's starting to lose the locker room. Nano CBD says, Monty laughing at us. 3 TDs and clutch first downs versus the Packers. Once again, the Detroit Lions have a way better offensive line than the Chicago Bears do at the moment. So, like I said, it's the same David Montgomery. Very happy for the guy. But obviously, the Detroit Lions have a really good offensive line. Keek, don't know if this was dealt with, but I think Getsy is and was a horrible OC. I want to see him fired before the end of the season. What do you say? Yeah, I think Luke Getsy needs to be fired. I think if the Bears lose these next 2 games and the offense still looks like trash and they're not, producing any points or yardage and they just look absolutely terrible, I think on that little mini bye week after the Thursday night football game against the Commanders, I think that would be a good spot to actually fire offensive coordinator Luke Getsy. Nano CBD says, Keek, why doesn't Getsy just off the Patriots game plan? It worked. Yeah, it absolutely did work. And that's the confusing part, is that last year, starting with the New England Patriots game, Luke Getsy was finally scheming around Justin Fields' strengths, and now it's nowhere to be found. So it's obviously frustrating. Now CBD says, Keek, are you mad at Flus for his kiss ass press conference post games? Yeah, I don't really get too mad. Sometimes when I'm reading into it, I'm kind of like, okay, obviously just trying to say, the simple answer is not trying to give too much detail. Sometimes what I want to hear from Flus is say, hey, we got our ass beat. It's my fault. I have to do better. And then, of course, the players got to do better, too. And they have to do better executing, which he usually says that. But he never goes up there and says, hey, I got to do a better job. The coaches have to do a better job. Just be responsible for your actions. Jay Bond says Flus is good with defense, but Poles has not given him a pass rush. Yeah, and that's the thing. Flus's defense, he expects the guys to win with 4, but our front 4 are not winning their matchups besides a guy like Yannick Ngakoue, but he's one person. So, yeah, I think Ryan Poles needs to continue to build on the pass rushers. That's why getting rid of a guy like Tevin Jenkins or Terrell Lewis was such a big deal, because it's like those guys were actually winning their one-on-ones in preseason. So obviously a guy like DeMarcus Walker hasn't been playing well. Dominic Robinson has been nowhere to be found. So yeah, Ryan Poles definitely needs to add some pass rushers. Someone said, Keek, why don't they use Rojo going forward? He is the best out of the running back room. Yeah, I agree. I think every time he gets the opportunity to run the football, he looks explosive. He's a hard runner. He has that sneaky speed. I think eventually, as the week go on and on and on, you'll start seeing him get more and more reps, and he'll eventually be the number 1 running back for the Chicago Bears. What's up, Keek? Enjoy those daddy times. Yeah, Iron Sav, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, being a dad is definitely tiring, and that's why for the most part haven't been doing a lot of live streams. Because like I said, my daughter is usually up and crawling around. She's about to start walking here pretty soon. So I'm usually exhausted. I only have time or enough energy to do just simple recorded videos. She's over here taking a nap right now, so I was able to hop on here real quick. But my plan is to start doing live streams more often. Someone said you get to fire Getsy, Flus, or Poles. Who is gone? Poles passed on a lot of talent like Carter and drafting Valus. No, I'm keeping Ryan Poles. I feel like he's done a pretty decent job. Sometimes players don't hit. It is what it is. Darnell Wright has looked really good. Obviously, DJ Moore is a good player. Just have to get him more involved. I think right now I'm think Getsy and Eberflus are my two guys that are definitely on the hot seat. Philip says, welcome to the fatherhood, Keek. Yeah, thank you so much. It's definitely a rewarding but also tiring thing being a father, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm just glad that she's young enough not to remember this embarrassment that we call the Chicago Bears. So Bears fans, like I said, I was gonna keep today short. As I ease my way back into doing this live stream thing. The plan is now that every Friday that I will be coming on here doing live streams for you guys. Also make sure to keep looking at the community page because I may actually go live this Sunday doing a live play-by-play live of the Bears versus Broncos game. So just staying tuned to that. But once again, thank you guys so much for tuning me for this Friday night Q&A. Like I said, I will be here every Friday. But like I said, I know it's hard. Stay patient. Give polls time. Try to give Justin Fields a little bit more time as well. I feel like we are slowly building, just like Ryan Poles said, that this thing takes time to gel. I still believe in the Chicago Bears. I'm a Bears fan through and through. Win, lose, tie, it doesn't matter. I will always be a Bears fan, and eventually the Chicago Bears will get things turned around. But have a great weekend. And as always, to all you guys, bear down.